Hello, friends. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to one and all joining from all over the world. Welcome to Letterkenny Islands Developer Group. So, let's continue our journey where we are learning JavaScript. Today is our day two, where we'll be talking about intermediate concepts. And so, just give you a brief about the community. We are based out in Letterkenny, Ireland, and you can reach out to us on Twitter at LK_SF_devs and also follow us on Facebook at LK Trailblazers. You can check all the developer community groups happening for us at bit.ly/lksfdevs, where you can see all the upcoming events we have. And you can join our chatter group, which is at lksf chatter, where we'll keep posting all the question answers and presentation and all the uh, materials there. All the session recordings are uploaded on YouTube. So if you're watching this on YouTube, do like, share, and subscribe the videos, and also check out the playlist which are available for Lightning Web Components and admin certification preparation. Share with your colleagues and give some love. Moving forward, I'm Nishant Singh Pamar, the community group leader for Letterkenny Developers Group. I'm also Salesforce developer and consultant with Primerica in Letterkenny, Donegal. I have 6+ years of Salesforce experience and 10 Salesforce certifications, including an application architect one. I'm a trailhead ranger on Trailhead and loves music. I play guitar for hobby and come from Udaipur in India. So, as you are watching this on YouTube, no action for the microphone and uh, videos. You can enjoy with your pace, and you can post any questions you have in them in the comment section, or you can check out the Google spreadsheet we have with all the open questions in the bit.ly/js dash query, where we'll be answering all the questions in this Google spreadsheet before the upcoming session. So today's our speaker is Kamal Kant Gaur. He's technical consultant with Horizontal Digital. He'll be taking us to the journey. Over to you, Kamal. Thank you.
So for the agenda for today is like we have six topics that we need to cover. Well, first is the array. Uh, uh, what is array and why we are using array in JavaScript. Second, what are the different methods available in arrays. Third, how we can looping in JavaScript. Previously, we covered two loops, but today's session we will cover another different loops related with the arrays, like how we can traverse the array or we can retrieve value from array. So that is the related with this. And now we are gonna cover arrow function today again. In previous session, some of the members said that we need to cover arrow function again. So I this arrow function today with the help of these array that we are going to cover. Arrow function array is an array method, different and different use cases we have related with the array function. And fifth topic we have what is about the spread operator versus rest operator that are available. And the sixth topic is object destructuring and how we can freeze the object. So if we are talking about these six topics, these are very uh, commonly used in JavaScript, and we need to take care when we are using these terminology or these method in JavaScript. We need to we need to use them in a very careful manner. So now moving on to the first topic that we have is the array. So if we are talking about the array in JavaScript, so same in other languages, array we have. So array basically store where array is a single variable and it will be store different elements. So it is a container in which we can add multiple value or multiple object inside a container, and we can access this array by using index number, and the first index for this array for any array is the 0. So array start from 0 index and moving on to the so on, and basically it hold the large amount of data or large amount of the collection that we require. Third and most important topic is that JavaScript array can store multiple different data type uh, data type objects or variables in data type variables in array. So basically thing is that in JavaScript array we can store different data type variables, like we can create a array with the number, string or or boolean. So if require this kind of thing, we don't need to create different array. We just need to create a single array with using them. And if we are talking about the array, how we can create in JavaScript, how the array look like in JavaScript. Sorry. So that is the example we have. We have warehouse houses basically that will contain 1 BHK, 2 BHK, 3 BHK, and 4 BHK type of properties. So the array of string, basically that is the array of string, different string data type. And the next topic is that what is the difference between arrays and objects in JavaScript. Basically, what is the difference between these, because these are from, both are from the object data type that we discussed in last slide. So in JavaScript, array use number index as well as the object use named index. So that is the main difference between the array and object. Array will be array is using a numbered index, but object is using named index. So we can traverse object also by using object.keys property. We can run the loop, and we can traverse the property of object. But in this scenario, we are using named index, not the number index. So that is the array. Next topic is that how we can create array into the JavaScript. So basically, if we need to create a array inside a JavaScript, then how we can create? So we have two type of methods, or two type of ways available in JavaScript. First called array literals, and second called array constructor. So if we have a requirement where we need to create an array, so first we are covering array literals. So that is the example that I given to you, where we have a house array in which we have different property, and we have number array. So if we are directly creating by the bracket, by the bracket, it will be known as array literal. So we created a string array, I created a number array, I created a decimal array. So these are the different data type array. And also I already said in previous slide that we can create mixed data type array. So I'm creating a data type array, mixed data type array, in which we have a number, we have a string, we have a decimal number, and also the boolean. So we are able to create the different data types array, different data types single array, and that's how we can create array in by using array literals. So let's take an example and move on to your playground. So we need to create a array that basically store houses. So users. We need to create a array that will store the user's name. So, and basically that is the string array. So we need to use ABC, and there may be different type of string name that we have, XYZ.
Kamal, we are seeing your presentation screen only. Are you using console? We don't see the console.
Okay, so I'm trying. Let me try it here. So I'm just creating a array of different user type. So I'm just users. I'm creating a array called users, and that basically hold a string type data, string data type. So we
Kamal, still we see only the presentation, not the.
Okay, let me share again. Now. Hello.
No, we don't see anything at the moment.
Now.
Nothing. Yeah, now we can see the console. Okay.
Okay. So I'm just creating an array, maybe users array or names array. We can assign any name or any variable name before the array, and we just created an array, and just using console to print the value of that names.
Can you zoom, Kamal, a bit?
Yeah, yeah. Sorry.
This screen.
Now good.
Yeah, and maybe make this good.
So we created an array that basically hold all the different type of string, different strings, and we just console this, and it will created a array inside a JavaScript. So this method is called Java array literals. So by when we need to create array, we have first approach called array literals. So we created a string type array. Now we are creating a number type of array. If you're printing that, that will return the array that we created. Now we are moving on to the next type of data array. So I'm just saying next data type array. First property may be the number, second may be the string, ABC, third may be the decimal, and also one we can include the boolean type. And if you want to print, oh sorry, if you're printing that, then it will also create a created a array with different data type. So that is also possible in JavaScript. That is the first way by which we can create array in JavaScript. Second, we can also create array by using constructor. So that is the first example where we are creating a where we are creating an array with using constructor, the new keyword basically. And if we want to assign any property inside this array, so we already talked that array start from the 0th index and we can assign property inside this. And also that is the first way. Second way, if we want to create a fixed length of array, we can put a number inside this a new array. So it will create an array with the fixed length. In this example, we created an array with the length of 3, and if we are console the length, it will return 3. It will return 3 because we have array of 3 length, but that doesn't have any value. So it will return null, the 3 value. And also we can create a mixed data type array. So the third way by which we can create a array is the second way. And if you want to put different variables or maybe the value inside array, we can directly put new array and the values. The first way we are just using blank braces bracket, and second we are using number of length array, and third number of different variables that are available for the array. So let's put let use them and print that the console. And if we are using console.log, and if you print that, that will return the 1 BHK. Second option, second example we have is the for number related. And if you print that, it will return 3. That I already said that. Third type is the mixed type, and also the number of variable we want to pass, we can pass it. We can use them, and we just need to console. Next array, and if we return that, it will return the array. So by these two way, array literals and array constructor, we can create array inside JavaScript.
Just one small question. If we define the fixed size like 3, can we add 4 elements? Like I define the size as 3 in the number array, and then if I try to add 4 elements in it,
it will give the error basically, give the error. So if we want, we have a number array. We already used number variable, so we need to use a new one, number 0. We print number array. Will return all the 3 array. But the fourth property we are trying to we are created fourth length array. And if you print that, okay, it is initialized empty as a, because we console that array and use it, so it will it was assigned as an empty value before that, the value that we are passing for fourth index. So yes, we can create a array other than the length we are passing inside that bracket.
Okay, but that by default will be empty array created for default
Yes,
if we
yes,
pass the size.
empty.
Okay. Thanks.
And we are already talked about how we can access the element from the array. So if you want, so that is basically for the shorthand and short trick. If you want to access the first element or first array element, then how we can do? We just need to use the 0th index, and we are able to access that variable from this element from the array. So in our case, we have banana string is on to the 0th index. So if we print that first, it will return the banana. And if we want to access the last element from array, how we can use? Just use the array, and inside array we are just using the length, basically what is the length, and -1, because the length return the exact number of that element exists in the array, and but the index is start from 0, so that's why we need to remove one element from the length, remove one number from the length, and it will return the last element of that particular array. That's how we can access first and last element from the array. Now we have a topic called array methods. So what are the different methods available inside array? So whenever we are accessing any array, and we need to like put at some kind we need to add some value, or remove a value, or maybe like return a new array from this last array, how we can do? So we have available different array methods. So I divided these method into the two part 1 and part 2. So in part 1, I was cover all the methods that basically mutate the original array. So, and in the second part, I'm just covering all the methods that are basically not mutate the original array, and the original array is still available after we perform any kind of method. So that's how I divided into the two category, and the part 1 and part 2. And in part 1 we have a 7 method, and in part we have around 8 to 10 methods are available. So in part 1 we are covering push, pop, shift, unshift, concatenate, includes, and splice. And in part 2 we are covering last index of, join, reverse, slice, map, reduce, write, and also join, filter methods that we are going to cover in part 2. And we will cover each method by example. So let's move on to the next slide. Just quick summary of each and every method. So if we are talking about the push, so what push is doing, it will add the a new element at the end of array. And pop, basically it will remove the element from array, the last element from array. And if we are talking about the shift, it will remove the first element from array. So in case of push, it will remove the last element, and if we are talking about the shift, it will remove the first element. And unshift basically do what it is do. It will sorry, pop. There is a confusion. Shift in pop. Pop remove last element, and shift remove first element. And push is adding element at the end, and unshift is adding a new element at the beginning of any array. And if you want to merge any two different array, then we need to use concatenate. And if you want to determine a specific condition, is that that particular element is available or not, or maybe the condition fulfilled element is available or not, we can check by the include method, and it will return the true and false value. If value is exist or condition is matched in array, it will return true, and if not, then it will return false. And splice method also remove and add element from an array. So basically there is a slight difference between splice and slice. So splice basically removing and adding any element from array, and slice is basically subtract or cut the fixed length of array from the array, and it will return a new array. In case of splice, it just remove and add any element from array. In part 2, we have index of. So basically index of is working checking if any first occurrence is matching with the, if suppose that we are passing any fixed kind of value in the array, and we need to check is that available or not available, and then we are using index of, then it will return the first element that match with the condition. And in case of last index of, if we have an array and in which we are passing a condition, that will return three element new array, and in last index of basically return the last value that match with the given condition. And join, if you want to create a string from an array by specific string or by specific any value, then we can create. Reverse, it will just reverse the order of the array. Slice, we already talked that it will just extract a section of array and return a new array. And we have different every, sum, filter, reduce, and reduce right. So map is returning a new array with a specific return type. If you want to return an array with different type key value, then we can use map. Every basically return true if element is in his specified. Basically, if we are passing a condition, and that will check if all the element is matching this condition or not, and then it will return true if matching. If not matching, then it will return false. And sum basically checking if at least one condition or at least one element match this condition, then it will return true. Filter, basically if we want to filter some data from an array, then we can use a filter. Reduce, what reduce do? Reduce basically reduce the all array into a single value. So basically it add or remove the value, and it will work. It is working left to right. And in case of reduce right, it do same thing, but it work from right to left. So I will explain more about these methods in next slide. So first we are talking about the push. So what push do? It will add a new element to the array, and where it is adding at the end. So that is the main important thing. The push is adding a new element at the end. And what is the syntax we have for the push? Just array, that the array we have available, array dot push, and what item we need to pass. In our example, we have an array that two element exist, banana and orange, and we want to add new element inside that. So how we can achieve? By using push. Just array that we created, array dot push, and the element, the apple, we want to add in this fruit array, and it will, what is the output for this? It will return banana, orange, and apple. So we are just adding a new element at the end of this array. So that's how push working. Now, and in case of push, it will after adding and after doing push operation, the original array is changed, and now we are not able to get the last or the original array after using the push. So whenever you are using the part one method, you need to keep in mind that after using that, the original array that initially initialized is now not exist, and it is mutable. So that's why we need to avoid these methods in case of JavaScript, latest JavaScript. And first topic is the push that related with the adding element. Now we have pop that will basically that will basically remove the last index from array. So I'm just talking about the last index and the last index in the adding and removing. So what is the syntax for pop? Array.pop is basically just a simple operation we need to do, and that is very simple syntax. For the last example that we are taken, where we have banana, orange, and a mango, and if we want to remove this mango, how we can do? By using pop. Just you just need to use array.pop and method calling, and if we are printing this array, it will return banana and orange. So Nishant, please let me know if you want to run these example into the console or not, because it is very simple.
Yeah, we can maybe like do some examples demo of the arrow functions and those things. Yeah,
Yeah.
these we can just go by slides and cover. Yeah, it's fine. Please post your if you want any questions, anything. If you have confusion, please keep posting in the chat. I'm monitoring the chat and I will bring it up. Thanks. Kamal, you can continue.
So we cover push and pop. Now we have method called shift and unshift. Previously in last slide, we are adding and removing element from the end. Now we have a requirement where we need to add and remove first element of the array. So how we can achieve? We just need to use shift and unshift. So if we are talking about removing the first element, we need to use shift. And what is the syntax for shift? Shift, just very simple syntax, array.shift, and it will remove the first element. So same example we have array that will contain that is containing three elements, banana, orange, and mango, and we just want to remove that banana. So we can use arrow.shift, and it will remove the there is a misprint. And if we are console this array, then it will return orange and mango. Banana is removed from this array. So by using shift, the first element is removed automatically. And if we are talking about unshift, if you want to add a new element from into the array at the beginning, then we need to use unshift. So in unshift, the syntax is array.unshift, and in the unshift bracket, we can pass the value that we want to add at the beginning of any array. So same example we have array with the three property, three elements, banana, orange, and mango, and we want to add a kiwi at the first place. So how we can achieve this? By using unshift, just array dot unshift, and the value that we need to add, and if we print this array, it will return the kiwi, banana, orange, mango. So kiwi added at the first index of that array. So that's how we can add and remove an element from the first index. Now another method we have concatenate and includes. So if we want to merge two array together, then we need to use concatenate. So basically we have two different array, and we need to create a single array by using them. So how we can achieve in JavaScript? We can achieve by using concatenate, and the syntax is just array1 and dot concatenate array2. It is very simple syntax. We just need to use array1 dot concatenate and pass the array2 into the this bracket. And if we are talking about the example, we have a array that hold two element, banana and orange, and we have another element array that hold two other properties, kiwi and mango, and we want to create a single array that hold all the four element, or maybe like contain all the four elements. How we can achieve? We just need to use array underscore one dot concatenate array underscore two, and it will return, if we are console or maybe the print the output, it will return the element with the array, return the array with the four elements: banana, orange, kiwi and mango. So that's how it is working. So that is basically merging the two different array. And if we are we have another method called includes. So I'm just covering this includes in term of array. So it will basically determine if you are passing any element inside a include, and it determine it is this element available or not, exist or not exist into the array. And if it is exist, then it will return true, and if not, then it will return false. So if we are talking about the syntax, it have very simple syntax: array dot includes, and pass the element that we want to search. So, and if we are talking about the example, we have a array, and basically that hold for property, that array that we created last time. And if we want to check is that banana is available in this array, and how we can achieve array dot includes and pass the banana inside that, and it will return true because it is available inside this array. And if we pass apple is not available in this array, then it will return false. So that's how includes and concatenate work. Now moving on to the splice method. So I already talked, there is a two different method that is like splice and slice. So basically splice is adding and removing elements from array, and slice is basically abstract or cut the piece of array and return a new array. But in case of splice, it just adding and removing any element for adding and removing elements into the array. So how we can achieve, and if we are talking about the syntax, we have this kind of syntax where we just need to pass the array dot splice, and from which element we need to add or remove, which index we need to add and remove, and which element we need to add or remove, on what elements we need to add and remove. So in our first case, we are just adding two two new element into that particular fruits array. So how we can achieve? Fruits dot splice, and I'm passing the starting index, so 0 1 2. So 0 1 2, and if we are passing 0 at here, it will adding the value, not removing the value. So if we want to remove, then we need to pass other number, and if other positive number, and if we want to add, then we need to pass just 0 and another parameter are that we want to add. So how it is working? It goes 0 1 2, and it adding before the index that we are passing. So in our case, we are passing 2, so it will add lemon and kiwi before the apple. So, and just one thing that you need to keep in mind: 0 basically in splice, 0 is using for the add, and any other positive number will be using for the removing any element. Second,
Kamal, some people are maybe joining from mobile, so if you can like go full screen when you are on the presentation, like.
okay, sorry. Now is it okay?
Yeah, better. Thanks.
So guys, I'm just talking about the removing and adding any element by using splice. So I already talked about the adding. So if there is a 0 number, then it will behave like a add, and if any positive number, then it will behave like a subtract, and that element that we are passing from here. In the first case, we are passing index 2, so it will like working 0 1 and 2, and it adding the property, and they adding the element that we are passing before the index value. And in case of any positive number, it will behave like it will remove the element from that array, and and in our case we have the fruits array, and we want to remove that apple and add two new property. So two new element into the array. So how it is work? Oh, sorry. How it is working? We are passing 2 because we need to remove apple, and 1 because we need to add the element. 2 and 1 we need to remove this apple, and the other parameter are basically what we want to add. In this example we are removing, also adding the element into the array. So if we are printing that, it will return banana, orange, lemon, kiwi and mango. And if we are not passing these two elements, it will just remove the apple. And if we are talking about output, then output is banana, orange and mango, because we are not passing any third and fourth parameter. So it will just remove that element, not adding new element. So that's how splice working.
Kamal, the first parameter is how many number of items we are adding, or that's the position. That's the position where we will
index.
do that addition. Index.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That's the index, and then the next parameter is how much to remove, and then
Yeah.
whatever we need to add, we pass.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how it is working.
Okay. Thanks.
And these all the method that we are talking is the mutable. So whenever we are doing these operation, it will change the original state of that original array. And after performing these method, we are not able to get the original array because it is muted and changed. And if we want to keep these original array, then we need to use part second method. And basically, in case of modern technologies or modern era methodology, we just need to use part second methods that we are covering now, because it is not changing the original state of the array. It will keep the original array as well as the new array. So it will create a copy of that array. So first method in the part second series, index of basically we already talked. It will return the index of first occurrence of specific element. So it will return the index of first occurrence or matching where the condition is match. So in our case, we have an array in which we have different type of elements are available, and we need to check where this value is exists within. So how we can achieve by using index of? So we just need to use array dot index of and the element that we need to check. So we are passing basin, and it will return output 1 because it is available at the first index. So if we are talking about the first index, index of an index of, it will return the first matching index. So in our case, in our example, it will return 1 because it is available on first index. And if we are talking about the second parameter, when we need to pass the second parameter exactly check how much time or how in the second value where the element that we are passing match in the second time. So in our case, like first where element is condition is matching in the first index, and at the fourth index. So it will return because we are passing second, so we need to get second matching occurrence. So we are the output is 4 because it is second time available onto the fourth index. And if we are passing any element that is not available in this given array, it will return -1. So that's how it is working. So in first case, we are not passing any second parameter, so it will just return match index. And in the second example, we are passing the parameter that basically get the second matching index. So it will return 4. And in third example, we are passing an element that is basically not available in this array. So in this situation, it will return -1. So index of, and now we are talking about the last index of. So basically, last index of is doing in the index of it checking the first occurrence. In the last index of it will check it is checking the last index match with the given condition that we are passing into the last index of. So same example that we have. So if we are talking about the syntax array dot last index of and the search element that we are calling and from where we need to access that. That's how it is working. And if we are talking about the example, we have a array called numbers, and in the numbers we have different elements are available, and we need to get the digit 8 index in from this array. So how we can use sorry last index from this array, how we can achieve? We just need to use last index of and pass the element that we need to check, and it will return the 2 because it is available on second time, and after that it is not available, so that's why it is written 2. And in second example we are passing 5, and 5 is available 2 time in this array, but we are talking about the last index of 4. So it is written the last index where this the given value is matched. So the value is matched on 2 position, number 2 and number 1 and number 5, and we are using last index of it, that's why it written 5. So that's how index of and last index of is working.
So Kamal, there's a question like index of was listed as mutating method. Like how can it alter the array? So it was mentioned that mutating. So if you can confirm, there was a question also like, is index of a mutating method or non-mutating method?
Okay, I will confirm and check, let you know guys in next session.
Okay. Okay. And also, if we want to remove any specific element from the array, like a fourth position, like we have 10 elements, and if you want to remove the fourth index, is there a
Mhm.
method or something we can use to do that?
Yeah, we can use the delete keyword delete. After that we the array, and in array we just need to pass the index that we are using and that we need to remove.
Okay. And we can also use the splice method, right? Like a splice method, and then pass the
Yeah.
index and then
Yes.
0, right?
Yeah. We if we need to remove, then we need to pass the index for that we want
0.
and how much
Okay. How
element
much
we.
element to delete? So fourth
Yeah.
as an index, and
If
then one element if you want to remove one. So splice
one
4 comma 1 will remove the fourth element.
one fourth element.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Okay. I need to check index of and last index of is mutable or not.
Okay.
Now we are moving on to the other methods that are available. First method is the join. If you want to merge any array by specific string, or maybe need to convert any array into the string, then we can use this join method that basically do just merge that array in by using any special by using any string that we are passing. So if we are talking about the syntax array dot join and the separator we just need to use, and if we are talking about example we have an array that hold basically all the string type of element first second and third, and if we are join array dot join without any separator it will return first second third. So first second third first second third it will return, and if sometime so there is a misprint, the bracket is mentioned at here, so these are not coming, it will just return a single string first second and third. And if in case if where we have required and we want to add a arrays element by a specific property, so how we can achieve, like we need to get a comma separated string from an array, then we just need to pass the comma inside this bracket, it will return the comma separated array sorry string comma separated string from the array string array. And now we are talking about the reverse method. Yes, a reverse is doing basically just reverse the array, reverse the order of the element in reverse. uh, and this if we are talking about the syntax, And in case of reverse, the last element become first and first become last. Basically, that's how it is working. And if we are talking about syntax, then syntax is array dot reverse. And if we are talking about example, so we have a variable that hold the number, and if we use array dot reverse, and if we are talking about the output is just reverse order of that particular, that the original array order, array. So that's how it is working. 0 1 2 3, that is the original array, and if we are using reverse method, then it will return 3 2 1 0. So that's how join and reverse method working. Now we are moving on to the slice method. So slice basically extract a section from an array, or basically it create a copy of array from a fixed indexed number copy that we want. And this, if we are talking about the syntax, we have array dot slice, and the parameter we just need to pass beginning and end. And if we are talking about the example, the same array that we are using that hold the fruits name, banana, orange, banana, mango. Sorry, it also contains sugar and tea. And if we want to get an element from get a piece of array from this array, then how we can use, we just need to use slice, and we need to pass beginning and end, where it is start and from where it is end, and it will return the elements from the array. So in first case we are just passing 1 and 2, so it will return 1, it will get the copy from 1 to 2, and it will return the first index mango, because it matches the condition. And if we are talking about this second example where we have 1 and 3, so mango, banana, sugar, and it will return mango and banana. So that's how it's slice working basically, and it return new array, not the not mutating last array. And now we are moving on to the sort method of array. Basically, sort was what it is doing, it just sorting the array by given some condition or some method. So I will explain more about with the condition when we are talking about the advanced JavaScript in next session. But yes, if we want to just but if we want to use for just sorting by a fixed order, then how we can achieve. So in our case, we have orange, banana, mango, sugar, and if we want to sort, it will sort the array of banana, mango, orange, and sugar. So in the alphabetical order, it is sorting. And if you want to, if we have an array that would hold different property like username, age, and ID, and we need to sort basis on the age, then how we can use, and we just need to use arrow function array dot sort, and in this sort we need to pass the element of first, and we just need to check a dot age minus b dot age, and it will return the sorting order of that particular. So we will cover this topic in next session, where we are talking about the in detail arrow function, how it is sort is working with the with a custom object array. Now we have a method called map. So what map is doing? Map is just creating a copy, or it will return a new array that having same length of original array, and it will return the whatever syntax we want to return from array. And if we are talking about this map methods syntax, so how it is working? So array dot map, and we just need to pass a method that fulfill the requirement. Function current item, basically notifying the current item. After that, index and actual array, that is main array, and we are returning the required value, required output that we required, and it will create a new copy of that array, not mutating the last or maybe the original array that we have. for the example, we have a users array in which we have property name, age, name, and name age, and we need to want a array that having key and value property inside this array. So how we can achieve? By using array.map and function, because we need to use function inside this map. So, and in my function we need to pass current index, current item index, current index basically notifying actual array that hold, and we just need to return, and that's how it is working. So let's take an example and use the console and achieve this. So I just remove that. I'm using where users. I'm basically creating an object array, and in object we have a property called name, and name is Kamal. Second property we have age, that's 32, and ID. Third property 1. We have an array of this type of object. ABC 33 XYZ 34, and we need IDs 2, 1, 2, and 3. And we want a new array that having property key and value, not the name, age, and ID. And we need to create this key and value type object, and or this type of array by using this array. And how we can achieve? We can use the map method, and we need to create a new array that is exactly same length that of user, and the name result. So how we can use these users? And in user we need user.map, and in this we need to pass function. The function holds 3 property: current item, basically current element, after that index, and actual array. Third property we have, and we need to return key and value pair object. So we have a key, that is a new property, and in the key we are just using we need to pass the ID as a key. So current item dot ID, and in the value we just need to pass the name, current ID dot name, and it will return. And if we are print this array, result, and the output is the 3 length array, because we have 3 element in the first array, and it will return the key value pair. And that is basically using vanilla JavaScript. And if we are talking about the arrow function that we need to cover, so I will start from here. So we need to use the arrow function. So how we can achieve the arrow function in this case? So user.map, just remove that function, and after that we need to pass the arrow method, because we need to use 3 property that we have, and we also need to remove this return. And before that we need to apply a bracket, because we need to return multiple properties. New array name, arrow result. If we are printing this, we're talking about the same output that we have. So that's how we can use the arrow function. We are just using we just remove that function, we need 3 parameters. Basically, these 3 parameter not useful in this case, so we can also remove these parameter and just using that single item if we want. So sorry, and that is basically return. That will basically return, and if we are using bracket, it will directly return, so we don't require return statement in this. If we want some kind of calculation before that, if we have any kind of arithmetical operation, then we need to use bracket, and inside bracket we need to use return as a statement, and before return we need to perform any kind of arithmetical operation we can easily do and return that that array. So that's how user.map is working, and we cover by the normal vanilla function method and the arrow method. Now we have two different method also available. First is the every and second is the sum. So uh, every return true if every element, so if we want to check is that given condition match with the every element or not. So in this case we need to use every, and if suppose that we want to just check is that the given condition is fulfill the one element or at least one element, then it will return true. So that's how every is working. Every and sum working. In every, if all the element fulfill the given condition, then it will return true, and if not fulfilling, then it will return false. And in case of sum, if at least one element is satisfying the given condition, then it will return true. So in our case we have an array basically that hold the number, and we are using every method, and inside we have same kind of syntax: element, current element, index, and the actual array. And we need to check is that all element is greater than 5 or not. Then if we are doing that kind of thing, because all the element is greater than and equals to 5, then it will return true. And if we are checking with the other number like 10, because there is a two element are less than 10, then it will return false. So that's how every is working. And Nishant, please let me know if we want to perform these method into the console.
I think
Or
we
it
are
is very simple.
already running short of the time, so maybe we're gonna extend. So is it okay for everyone, like if we extend for, because we have covered only, I think, uh, 2 topics, right? Out of 6 we have, or 3 topics. So yeah, so I think if you can, maybe you can extend for 30 minutes, and then try to cover as much as at least the arrow functions we can cover today at least, and quickly go through
Mhm.
loopings I think it's, and then at least cover the arrow function in detail.
Okay. So we talk about the every and sum. In every, if all the all the element match with the given condition, then it will return true, and if all condition are not matching, then it will return false. And if in case of sum, at least one condition, one element match with this condition, then it will return true, and if not, then it will return false. So in second case we are just passing that method. Oh, so basically in second case I created a method and passing into the conditional block that we are using. So in this, if any element is greater than or equals to 10, then it will return true. And if any element is if all the element is less than uh, from 10, then it will return false. So in first array we have all the element is less than 10, then it will return false. And if in the second element the 12 is the greater than 10, then it will return true, because that is the only element that is fulfill this condition. So that's how every and sum working. Now we have now we have another method called filter. So what filter do, if we want to filter array uh, basis on some condition, or maybe like we need to get element basis on some condition, then we need to use filter. So let's quickly look at the example that we already taken. So we have an array. So we are just performing. We need to create a new variable where new array, new sorry filter array. We can filter array. And inside filter array, how we can use the array that we created previously, array dot result, array result dot filter. And we already talk about the arrow function. And in this case, we just need current item. We don't require index and actual array. We just need a current index. So current item, current element that we required. We can give any name that we want. It's not necessary to give current item, index, or actual array. Any name we want, and we need to check this current sorry element dot key. We need to get all the element where current is greater than 3. We need to get all the element that match with this condition. And if we are console this, there is okay. So I think it's not checking that that name. It's not returning the value. Maybe it's not referencing that particular array. So let me use that user array. Array 1. Now we are using that condition. One array, current element of why it is not return the value, exact value. But if the condition is fulfilled with this, if any name match with this, or in the name where value equals to Kamal, it will return the condition match length array on the basis of this. So we need to check if
I think
where we
the
need to fetch.
filter we are applying, is it on array result and not on array 1? Like the
Oh, sorry, I think that's array 2. Now it is written the element that fulfill the condition. So that's how filter is working. So in case of filter, we are getting new length array that match with this given condition. Now to the another method, another important method that we have, the reduce. So we already talk about the reduce. Reduce basically reduce the array into the single item, maybe the total or maybe the that is the reduce into the single value, and it will return the total amount of that particular value or maybe the condition that we want to perform. So and it will work left to right. So if we are talking about the syntax, how it is working, array dot reduce in function, the 3 parameter other than first is same as map, as available in map and in filter, but the first parameter hold the total value of this filter, this reduce, and it will return the value that we want. And after that we have a other property also that is holding the initial value that we need to pass. If we are not passing, it behave like null as a initial value, and if you pass, then it will start from there. So in our case, we need to we have an array that hold a number 10, 30 and 40, and we need to get all this. We need to get the sum of this array. So how we can use the reduce? We are just using array.reduce, and in function the first parameter is the total, and initially we are initializing 0. So in the total, the initial is 0, and if we are talking about the current item, if we are on 0th index, it will return 10, and if we are on first index, it will return 30. So that's how it is working, and in the return we are just adding total plus current item value, and that's how it is working. So let's take what is the output of this. And we will one. There yes. That what is written? It return the total because we initialize from 0, so it is 0. After that current index, after that total value that we are printing, it is working 10. 0 plus 10 is equals to 10. After that second index, 0, 10, and the total 0, 10, 0 and 10, and in second time it will return the total 10, and the current index 30, and it will return the total in third time it will return 40, 50, and 90. That's how we can uh, uh, getting the value, but it is working left to right, first index to last index. But if we want to perform this same operation from right to left, then we have another method available called reduce right, and it is doing same kind of thing, but it is uh, working from right to left. And if we are printing the console, what is the output? 0, and the total, and the current item 50, and second time it will return 50, current item 30, and in third time it will return 30 plus 50, 80, and 10, and that's how it is working. So it is working from right to left, and reduce right, and reduce only working on from left to right. So these are the array, very important array method that we need to know when we are using any array method, and we need to keep in mind what is the mutable property, what is the mutable methods, and what are not the mutable methods. So we need to always keep in mind that these are the mutable method or these are the immutable methods. So
Yeah, and I think
and
I
the
checked
best
as well
practice,
that these are the index of and last index of
uh,
are not mutable. So those are non-mutable methods.
non-mutable. Okay. So that correction I need to do in this PPT.
And so this
And
is instead of total, do we have any other things also we can do, like total, average, anything like that?
so
Reduce
any operation,
any
any
operation.
operation we want to, like, we have an array with holding user information, and we want to perform any custom logic based on the last, or maybe the last index or the current index. We can easily do because total holding the last index,
Okay.
so we can do whatever we want because we are return value as a total
Okay.
from the when we are doing that.
Operation or any
Now,
operation.
yeah, now we have a loops for map. Basically last time we are talking about the, sorry, now we have a loop for array. Last time we are talking about the general loops that are available in JavaScript. Now we specifically talking about the loops that basically use for the array. So we have first loop called for each, and second is the normal for loop. So how for each working? So for each having same kind of syntax that we already cover in map, filter, and reduce method. So array dot for each, and the function that we need to pass, and the first parameter current index, and the second is the current element, second is the current index, third is the actual array that we have, and we can do what we, if we want perform any kind of operation we with the current index, we can easily do. So that's how it is working. So in our case, we have a number and we just want to print the current number. So we are just doing that console. So that's how looping is working with using for each. And second option we have available for. So for normal for also available, where we have three conditions. sorry, three parameter. First is the initialization, second is the condition, and third one is the incremental. But if we want to do some kind of operation with a specific element, we can easily achieve in this using for. So in our case, we have items. In items, we have a different property like first name, last name, age, etc., etc., and we want a particular object and we need to perform any kind of operation, then we can easily achieve by this using we need to declare that lat item of item that is notifying the current sorry, single item or current item of that index. So in our case, we have user that have first name and last name and age, and we just need to use the first name as a console. We can easily achieve. So that's how the for each working. Now moving on to the arrow function. We already covered in the last session about the arrow function. So arrow function just not only the shorthand of the normal function, it also solving the context issue that we have. So if we are talking about the previous way where we need to use these we don't have this arrow function, then we are facing many issue with the this context. Basically this is notifying the current scope or the window scope. But if we are talking about the nested method inside a method or inside a property, we are not able to access that particular index, and we need to use that. So how in this kind of scenario, we are facing many issue with this keyword. For example, we have this object called user, and inside user we have a property name, and in name also we have different tasks, and we have a function. That basically what it is doing, it is just doing this dot task, and it iterate. That is the good example of for each also. And we just need to alert that first name and that particular string that accessing first name name that we are declaring, and task. And if we are calling user dot show task, because that is the, and it will return the value. If you see that we are creating a property inside name, inside user, this is the name, but we are not able you're not able to access this property inside this method particularly, or inside this loop, because of this keyword, because there is no context available for that particular method. If you see that I just print this dot name plus want to task is available because we are traversing from the task, and it is available. But in case of nested index, that this context is not available, so it only print want to transfer, want to eat cake, or that kind of thing, just simple. So that's how this keyword is creating issue. So previously, how we can resolve this issue? By using bind function, or by using a reference variable. So I'm just giving the bind method example, the same thing that we created using previously. So what I did, the same method that we are using previously, just bind the context with this method, and if I print that, it is working like Kamal, that name is appending before. So we previously, before the ES6 and before the arrow function, we need to use this bind function. By this this context is available in nested or maybe the inner function of that particular object or any property. So that's how it is creating any issue. So that is the older version that we are using. Now in the new scenario with the arrow function, we don't need to use any kind of bind function, we just need to use arrow function. So how it is working, like we have name, task, same property, and the method show task. And inside method, previously what we are doing, we are traversing for each, but using function, and after that passing the parameter, and inside that we are using this keyword and this context. So that is not available, but using arrow function, that is the arrow function that we are using, and that this context is available inside this loop. And if we print that value, it will return the Kamal that we are able to access that context of the object. So that's the main issue related with the this, where previously we are not able to access the this context, and there is very confusion related with this. So that is the main thing. uh, we already covered this slide. I am just taking some example of the arrow function. Normal, I'm just using shorthand how we can use the arrow function. So previously we have a function called get name in vanilla JavaScript. We need to return this statement, and if you want to use that, we need to get an arrow. But by using arrow function, we just need to declare the variable get name, and after that variable, sorry, arrow function syntax, and what we want to return, it will just return the value. And if we have single parameter, then how we can use, we don't need to use this kind of bracket. We just need to pass this property first name arrow function, and the it will return the whatever we want to return from this function. And with the multiple parameter, we need to use these bracket first name and last name with using bracket, and we are just returning an object that contain property name, and that is basically concatenating first name and last name. And we already talked about how we can use the arrow function in the array methods like dot map, in every, in for each, in reduce. So how we can use, so in this case we have array that hold materials, different type of materials, and we want to just create a new copy, or just want to create a new copy, and how you need to use this arrow function with map. So how we can use material dot map, and inside this it will notify the current index. So name is not necessary, any name you can give there, and after that arrow function syntax, and it will return the length. So it will create the same length like 1 2 3, sorry, it will create the four element array, and each and every element containing the length, like I think and the length. So it will return 4444. So 444, that kind of array. Vishant, I need to cover.
Can we see this arrow function also? Yeah, we can maybe like just cover the spread and rest, and maybe do the last topic in the next session. But if we can do like demo of this as well, arrow function, because I think arrow functions is something everyone is looking into in detail. So
I'm just using that example that we are talking about. So we have materials, different materials available, and we are using a map pattern. So what I'm doing, I'm just creating a new variable that having same length array. So we are getting const new array, and if we print this new array, we are using arrow method at here. So we don't need to put the function, and after that the parameter and return statement, we are just using that. And if we console that, it will return this kind of thing. Why it is written 8678 material dot length. Okay, it will return the character length. Sorry, my fault. It will return the character length that having in this string. So in first case, in hydrogen we have 8, in helium we have 7, and same in other element also. And we already talked about the filter. If we can use this as in filter also. So we have a material. I'm creating M1 array, the new array, and I'm just using the filter at here. So I just need to use filter condition and material, where we have some kind of condition where material is helium. We need to return the new array that having the helium property. And if we are printing that, so what we are doing, just using arrow function. If we are not using arrow function, then we need to write this kind of syntax.
So this will be M1, right? Again,
yeah,
like the M1 dot filter.
Oh yeah, sorry, it's my mistake. So we have this. We need to return this kind of syntax. We need to return this kind of syntax, but using filter method, what we need to do, we just need to remove that all the syntax that we have previously and put it there at area m1, and it will return the array. And if you console that particular array, sorry, variable, it will return new array. Oh, sorry, the new array is already declared. That is m2, m2, m1. I'm just controlling that m1. It will return the array where the condition is matched. So that's how array method is working in this kind of thing. And if we are talking about the previous example, I'm sharing the example that I have for the scope kind of thing. So guys, you can create your own scope and try to achieve this. So I just shared in the chat window. Now we have another topic that is introducing ES6, the two operator we need to talk, and that are very helpful in ES6 programming language, and in case of LWC, the spread operator and the rest operator. Spread operator basically expand the variable, sorry, expand the element or argument property. So how and what is the use case of this spread operator? If we need to merge two different array, we need to clone an array, we need to convert a string to array, we need to convert set to an array, or if we need to convert argument to a array. These are the different use case where we can use the spread operator. And spread operator, nothing, just these three dots. So these are the different use case where we can use the rest operator. Now I'm moving on to the example. If we want to add any element in existing array, how we can use? So we can use like we need to add element just in the first place or in the last place. How we can do? We have an array that holds the string value, and we need to add another element at the beginning of this array. So what we can do? We just need to use bracket and the first element that we want to use, comma, three dot, that spread operator, and array. So what it is doing, it spread all the elements that having in this array by using this, and because we are using this arrow syntax, it will return the new array, and it contains these three elements as well as this fourth element, and we are adding at the first place. And if we want to add element at the last place, how we can achieve? We just do same thing, like arrow bracket, and after that spread operator, array, comma, and the element that we want to add. So that's how we can add element in the first place and the last place. And if we want to copy array inside JavaScript by using this spread operator, how we can, we want to create a new array by using last array, how we can achieve? By using the spread operator. There is an example, like we have an array called const array, and in this we have three property, and we need to create another array, another array like array2. So how we can use? Just use these bracket, three dot, and after that spread operator and bracket. And if we want to merge two array, I think I don't have example for that. If we want to merge these different array, like for example, we have array1 where we have 1 2 3, and in array2 we have property 3 4 5. And if you want to merge, how we can use? Arrow bracket, 3 dot array1, comma, 3 dot arrow2. So that's the very easy approach by which we can merge the array. And if we want to convert any string to an array, how we can achieve? We have a string called hi, and we want to convert this string into the array. How we can use? We just need to use another variable that holds the array bracket, after that the spread operator and 3 dot, and it will return all the elements in form of array. So that's how an spread operator is working. So now onward, if we are using any kind of array in LWC, just try to create a new copy by using spread or operator. So I will explain more about that, why we are creating copy every time when we are doing any kind of map, filter, or reduce operation, or in reduce method by using that. Then I will explain these topic into the prototype and inheritance in the next session. But trying to use that spread operator and create new copy, and after that you need to apply and the any logic that you want to apply on array. Now we have a rest operator. So in spread operator, it extend all the property of that array, or all the elements in extend the. But in case of rest, it collect all the remaining element into an array, and it is very, like, very clean and these things. So we have a property. We have a project called function called add xy, and what we are doing, we are just adding x plus y, and if we are calling this method, and we passing number of argument, but it will take only two argument, x plus x and y, and it return 3. It only add the argument that we are passing into array, or two parameter that we are passing. But if we want, what we can do, we want this thing in dynamic form, so we need to use the rest operator. So how we can achieve, we have a function called add and the bracket, and inside this, if we are declaring that parameter, so we just need to use 3 dot an argument, and after that we can do whatever we want to do with this. For in this example, what we are doing, we are creating a variable lat that hold the result, and for it we are traversing for loop, and just adding all the argument into the this result, and it return the result. So we don't need to take care about how number of argument, or sorry, parameter we are getting uh, into this any method. So that's how it is working. If we are passing 1, it will return 1 because it only traverses for a single time, and it returns the total value. If we passing two parameter 1 and 2, it will return 3. It add these two parameter, and if we passing number of parameter inside this array, it will return the total of this all the parameter that we are passing, because we perform this kind of logic.
So just very basic question, like, so it looks same, like the three dots, so it's spread
Yep.
operator. So when we put it in the function, it is called rest operator.
Rest
Is that the
operator, or
difference? Like,
is anyone
why it
knowing?
is called rest? uh, it just like the spread operator only, right?
Yeah,
But just
yeah.
when we use it for functions, it is rest operator.
Yeah, it is rest parameter. Basically, rest operator is different thing. Rest operator is these three parameter, and I need to cover one more scenario where previously in the when we don't have any kind of ES6, how we can achieve this thing,
Okay.
that dynamic argument parameter. Yes, in case of ES6, if we are using these 3 dot inside a function argument or function parameter bracket, it will behave like it collecting all the argument in a single bundle.
Okay. Okay, I think so, Kamal, we are already like 1:30
Mhm.
now, so maybe we can take the two topics we have in the next session as well, and so we can uh, like agree on like timing. So like we can maybe try to extend the next session also for 30 to
Mhm.
45 minutes, and try to cover. If not, we'll maybe do a session 4. I
Okay.
would recommend like so if you can stop sharing, I'll just start my screen. Just want to close today, and maybe we take it back from here, like continue talking from here next week on Friday, and we'll extend a bit, and you can share your feedback also to us, like how it went for you guys, like it was it helpful, and how was the like platform. So we are trying with the Trailblazer community virtual platform, is it better, or was the WebEx more easy for you guys to catch through and understand? So do share your feedback, and also will uh, some people might not be able to do the tweets and enable for the lucky draw, so you can give the feedback, and we'll also add the people who are sending us feedback into the lucky draw. So just send your feedback and let us know how it goes for you, and maybe you can give us feedback on should we do session 4 just to cover up more topics, or just extend the day 3 session. So if you can give your feedback, we'll try to incorporate and go accordingly. So register for the day 3 session on 23rd of October, which is already planned, and we'll try to extend a bit for 30 minutes on day 3, as well as, if you guys are okay, we'll plan day 4 session as well to cover some more topics and try to talk about something like where we can do some use case with LWC components, because I think we are already running short of time. So we'll try to cover some more advanced concept in day 3, and in day 4 we'll can talk about integrating and how to use JavaScript in the LWC components and those kind of topics. Okay, so thank you, Kamal. Thank you very much for putting all the efforts in, even if when you were sick for a couple of days in last week. So thank you very much, Kamal, and thank you everyone else for joining today. We look forward to see you on the day 3 and upcoming sessions. Thank you very much. Thanks for your time. Bye-bye.